Hey people, this is my weekly rundown of things in entertainment news that interest me, and I've got a few interesting stories for you, starting with Boy Meets World. You might have heard already because I forgot to report on this last week, but Disney Channel is thinking about doing a sequel series to Boy Meets World called Girl Meets World, focusing on Corey and Topanga's daughter. And they are looking to get the original Corey and Topanga, Ben Savage and Danielle Fishel. So when I read this, I was pretty excited because I'm a big fan of Boy Meets World. Probably my second favorite sitcom of the 90s, right behind Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, of course, which is hands down, my favorite and probably the greatest. But yeah, Boy Meets World sequel series, I'd be excited to see it. I don't know how good it would really be because Disney Channel TV series aren't really the greatest, but I feel like they will pull in kind of a lot of adults just out of curiosity and nostalgia to see how things turn out. An article a few days ago posted kind of the casting call that they sent out, and I think Corey and Topanga's daughter's name is Riley, and she's 12 years old, and they have a 14-year-old son named Elliot, so you can check out that in the description if you're very curious about this. And I'm kind of curious, if they'll be able to get the original cast, because if the original Corey and Topanga are back, then yeah, I definitely am watching the pilot at least, but I'd also be curious to see some of the other people return from the cast. I mean, I believe Will Friedle has retired from screen acting, and he's just doing voice work now, but I'd love to see him come back, at least for a guest appearance, and I'd love to see Ryder Strong back as Sean at some point, and it would be nice. I'm not sure how good this will be, if it'll just be coasting on nostalgia or what, but I'm definitely curious about this. Michael Arndt has been chosen as the writer for Star Wars Episode VII. Some of his past credits include Little Miss Sunshine, for which he won the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay, and Toy Story 3, in which he was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay. So I'm not really sure what to think of this. I mean, Toy Story 3 and Little Miss Sunshine, very different movies, so it's not like you can watch either one of those and really tell his writing style. But they're both pretty well-respected movies, too, so I think they've gotten a quality writer for this, which is exciting. The comic book series Avengers Academy came to its conclusion this past week, and if you're not familiar with Avengers Academy, which you're probably not, because A, it's a comic book and not that many people read comic books, and B, it's one of Marvel's kind of more obscure titles. Avengers Academy is about this group of teenagers who is taken under the wing of some of the Avengers to become kind of the next generation of heroes. But early on, they discovered that they were not taken under the care of the Avengers because the Avengers thought that they had potential to be really great heroes. They were taken in by the Avengers because the Avengers looked at their psychological profiles and their experiences and found that they were really at risk of becoming supervillains, so they wanted to kind of guide them and make sure that they didn't become that and keep watch over them. So this really plays into the insecurities that these characters have and all the obstacles that they have to overcome. And while the story arcs weren't really that interesting, since a lot of it kind of revolved around their time at the Academy, I think the series did a really good job of developing these characters. When I picked this book up with the first issue, I wasn't really expecting to start following it. I was just kind of curious, and looking at the cover, I didn't see any characters that I really recognized or cared about, so I was ready to just read it and then put it away and never really think about it again. But it really kind of sucked me in and got me interested and invested in these characters, so I'm kind of sad to see it go. I think it has kind of run its course, though. A lot of people didn't really expect it to last as long as it did. It lasted 39 issues, I believe, so I'm glad it lasted that long, and I hope that these characters continue to play a decent role in the Marvel Universe. Also, my last story this week, Avengers Earth's Funniest Heroes is airing its final episode on Disney XD this weekend, and I'm kind of sad to see this show end because I think it was very solid. Definitely one of the best animated series that Marvel has ever put out, and I think the thing that made it so fun to watch is that they did a very good job of really adapting a lot of notable stories from the Marvel Universe and making it feel like a full comic book world. Like, they did Secret Invasion, they had the founding of the Avengers, of course, the beginning, and they kind of had this great mix of the classic and the new. Like, the founding of the Avengers, they had the original Avengers with that, but they had the breakout, which was a lot like the new Avengers origin story, and they discovered Captain America very similarly to the way they did in the comics. They told the Vision story arc, they introduced Miss Marvel, we saw Hank Pym go from Ant-Man to Giant Man to Yellow Jacket. They had Registration. I feel like they would have done a Civil War if they had more time, but at least they sort of hinted at that. And there was just so much. I mean, a lot of the Marvel series kind of keep it confined to a specific world. Like Spectacular Spider-Man I loved, and I don't have many complaints about, but the nature of the series and the rights that they had, they couldn't really bring in characters from the wider Marvel Universe to interact with Peter Parker, whereas this one, it wasn't confined to just the Avengers that you see here. There was an episode that heavily features Spider-Man. They interacted with the Fantastic Four. I've seen pictures of the finale, and I know Wolverine is in there, and I'm not sure if any other X-Men guest star. But it really felt like a very full Marvel Universe, which was great to watch and come in and feel like the series that you're watching is made for the fans as well as the younger kids who are watching it. So I'm going to miss this show. They are reportedly continuing it with the next animated series, Avengers Assemble, but I'm not sure how much I trust that. I feel like they might be trying to exaggerate that a little bit to get some of us fans on board with Avengers Assemble, but we'll see how much of a continuation it is. I highly doubt that it's going to be like Justice League to Justice League Unlimited, where it's very direct and things are very similar. I mean, they're replacing a lot of the voice cast, the animation style looks completely different, so we'll see about that. Hopefully it's good, and hopefully it's kind of a spiritual successor that takes the basic tone and setup of this and maybe furthers it and advances it, because Avengers Earthrise Heroes wasn't perfect. I mean, the animation could have been better, the art style could have been better, but I think it was definitely enjoyable, and I'm glad I got to watch as much of it as I did. But that's really all I've got for this week. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, subscribe, and tune in next time.